We don't know that we don't know, right? So the next one is conscious incompetence. So the next one is conscious incompetence. So we know that we don't know. This is where we learn that, okay, we're not competent at something. I don't know how to do it. And this comes as a big surprise for many, many people. You know, for my son. So you don't win in business with your head. I want you to listen to me. You don't win in business with your head. You win with your heart. You win with your emotion. You can express your passion in different types of ways. You know, Tamoy, for example, is very quiet. I'm very loud, right? There's all these different types of ways that you can express your passion, but you have to express your passion. Hey, are you guys fired up? Are you excited? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me in the chat, okay? Awesome, awesome. Great to see you, champions. I am excited to be here with you on Money Monday. Hey, listen. If you have a team member or a guest or someone that is supposed to be here with you tonight, reach out to them and make sure they're on the call with you, because today is going to be a powerful, powerful, powerful session. And we are going to have some fun tonight. So let me share my screen and we're going to jump right into it, because time is money. Do you agree? Let's have some fun today. Let's talk about some really cool things. You know, first I want to talk to you about learning any skill. You see, one of the things that people have a difficulty doing is learning a particular skill. And I'm going to talk to you today about how you can learn any skill that you want. Think about what that could do for you, what that could do for your life, what that could do for your business, what that could do for any area. All right, think about this for a second. So there's 4 stages of learning. And if you understand these 4 stages of learning, you can learn any skill, and that skill will help you to get to your next level. And what you'll do is you'll start to focus on learning the skill and keep on focus on learning rather than focusing on any type of mistakes or things like that that will happen. Make sense? So you don't want to focus on the mistakes. You want to focus on the skills. So the first thing is, the first level is unconscious competence. Unconscious competence. So this is where we don't know what we don't know. You know, my 5-year-old, when my son was 5 years old, he saw an older boy riding a bicycle, and the little boy was riding the bicycle without any training wheels. And my son saw that, and he wanted to try riding his bicycle without any training wheels. But what he didn't know was he didn't know how to ride the bicycle. And most of us in business, we've never had any extensive feedback on our interpersonal skills, our communication skills. So at this state, we're unconsciously incompetent. We don't know that we don't know, right? So the next one is conscious incompetence. So the next one is conscious incompetence. So we know that we don't know. This is where we learn that, okay, we're not competent at something. I don't know how to do it. And this comes as a big surprise for many, many people. You know, for my son, he gets on the bike after we remove the training wheels, right? He jumps on and then he immediately falls off. And right away, he goes from stage 1 to stage 2, where he knows that he doesn't know now. Now he's aware that he doesn't know. And this is stage number 2. And stage number 3 is unconscious competence. This is where we start to work at what we don't know, right? We start to work on it. Here we're consciously making an effort to learn a new skill, to practice, to drill, and we're just doing it over and over and over. This is where we're using our mind to just practice over and over and over and over again. And this is where most learning takes place. And it takes effort and it takes work. So my son, going back to that example, he worked relentlessly at riding the bicycle, right? But he's still thinking about what he's doing. He's careful with the steering, right? He's careful with the balancing. He's careful with the pedaling, and he's thinking about what he's doing step by step. And he can only think about what he's doing. He can't use his mind for other things. His mind is only focused on what he's doing. This level is called conscious competence. And then level number 4 is unconscious competence. Unconscious competence. So here, we don't have to think about knowing it. Here, the skills, they happen automatically at an unconscious level. So my son, he's riding the bicycle now without even thinking about it. In fact, he came and he said, "Daddy, can you take off the training wheels?" We took them off and we threw them in the garbage, right? He threw them in the garbage. So now he's riding, he can, whistle, he can talk, he can sing, he can do other things with his mind at the same time while he's riding, right? He's riding without thinking. This is unconscious competence. And this is the ultimate goal. This is the ultimate goal. So the individual or the person that's practicing, what happens is they've had so much practice with a skill that has become second nature to them. And they can perform it very, very easily. So as a result, what happens is the skill can be performed while they're doing other tasks. They can, do something else while they're performing that skill. And what's really cool, at this level, the individual might be able to teach it to other people, right? So the key is to recognize where you're at in the 4 stages of learning and then be patient with yourself. Recognize exactly where you're at with these 4 stages. Maybe you're in stage number 1, maybe you're in stage number 2, maybe you're in stage number 3 or stage number 4, but it's to realize exactly where you are and position yourself to the next level, right? Move yourself to the next level. And the ultimate level is unconscious competence, all right? Unconscious competence. And that leads me into my next topic, how to create a movement. Have you seen people, they're able to just enroll people into their cause, into their vision, into their mission, right? We want to talk about that today. We want to talk about how do you create a movement? How do you create something that people will buy into, will follow what you're doing? All right, let's talk about it. First thing is we want to create momentum. I want you to understand momentum is the pivot point for all things that are great in business. You must be able to create momentum. That's what you got to be able to create. Can you create momentum? I'm talking to you. I'm looking at you right now. Can you create momentum? Momentum is what wins championships. Have you seen in sports when the team, the home team or the team you're rooting for, they're down, and what happens? They get together and they just create momentum inside the locker room, and they come out a brand new team and they just conquer and win the championship, right? They just win the championship. So what do you got to do? You got to do big things in a short window of time. Not forever. You do big things in a short period of time. Let me teach you exactly how to become magnetic. Write this down. Do big things in a short window of time. That's how you create magnetism. People get attracted to you. And you don't have to do it forever, just for a short period of time. Let me tell you something. Momentum is going to take you further than your talents will ever take you. You see, with momentum, the team that is smaller, the team that is less talented, they can beat a team that's larger and more talented. All right? That's how sports works. That's how business works. That's how your business works. Momentum, right? Momentum. See, momentum can take you further than your talents. Keep that in mind. It can take you further than your talents. You're not going to win with your head. You know what you're going to win with? You're going to win with your heart. You're going to win with your heart. So you don't win in business with your head. I want you to listen to me. You don't win in business with your head. You win with your heart. You win with your emotion. You can express your passion in different types of ways. You know, Tamoy, for example, is very quiet. I'm very loud, right? There's all these different types of ways that you can express your passion, but you have to express your passion. I don't want you to take my word only for it. I'm going to play a video of Steve Jobs, all right? And he's going to talk about exactly what I just mentioned. These two areas, these two keys in winning in business. He built a very large company. How many of you guys are using iPhone? You're using Apple, using all of these. He built a huge company, all right, around these two philosophies. Listen carefully to what Steve says.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion. And I think that's the high order bit. The second thing is you've got to be a really good talent scout, because no matter how smart you are, you need a team of great people, and you've got to figure out how to size people up fairly quickly, make decisions without knowing people too well, and hire them, and see how you do, and refine your intuition, and be able to help build an organization that can eventually just build itself. Because you need great people around you.
Thank you. Liz.
Wow. Did you hear that? You need a great team of people around you, no matter how talented you are, because you need people around you to build the vision so that it can build itself. So find great people and be able to build an organization that will then build itself. Very powerful, right? Very powerful. So let me ask you a question. When people are around you, do they get the feeling that you're completely passionate and magnetized about what you're doing? Do you magnetize people to you? People think all the time, I got to have the right words. I got to be sharp. I have to be able to answer every single question, right? Or I have to become really successful, and then people are going to enlist into my vision. That's not the case. That's not the case. The case is you win with your mind, with your heart, not with your head. You win with your heart, not with your head. They need to see the passion in you. People aren't gravitated towards that kind of stuff. You know what people are gravitated towards? You know what attracts people? People are attracted to your courage. How courageous are you? They're attracted to your passion. How passionate are you? They're attracted to your energy. How much energy do you bring? Imagine I'm on this call and I'm very lethargic. Hey, you got to be very excited. You got to enjoy what you're doing, and, you got to have some passion, and let me make sure that you're courageous, right? Imagine that's what I'm bringing to you. You got to have heart. You got to show heart in what you're doing. Let's say this is you. And you have a goal and you have a dream. So you're here. And let's say your goal and your dream is over here. Two things I want to point out to you. Number one, most people, do you know what they do? They aim, right here. They aim. If they're going to jump, right, you're going to jump to your goals and your dreams. Most people, they aim right here, just enough to hit their goals and their dreams. You know what happens to that person that aims right there 99.9% of the time? When they jump, they miss. And they end up down in the ditch. Right? They end up in the ditch. So how do you overcome that? The key is to aim further than your goal. The key is to aim much more further than your goal. That way, when you fall on your goal. Don't aim just enough. Aim past, right? Aim past your goal. I'm going to share something else with you. Another thing people do. This is supposed to be an eye, okay? This is an eye. Don't judge me on my art. Don't judge me on my art. Many people, again, they have a goal, right? So they have this goal. But what happens? You know what they see? They see challenges. Okay? They see the challenge in front of their goal, right? So they don't see the goal. Every time that the challenge comes up, they only see the challenge and it blocks the goal and they forget about why they're doing what they're doing. Have you heard someone, they come to you and they say, hey, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the world. I have this vision. I have this mission. I'm going to do all of these things, right? And you talk to them a year later and you say, hey, listen, what happened to that big vision you had? What happened to you changing the world? All those things you said you were going to do. And they start listing all of the challenges, why it never happened. And nothing changed, right? What happened? The challenge was too big and they weren't able to see the goal anymore. Many times they forgot even about their goal. What's the solution here? You know what the solution is? The solution, let me tell you, the solution is to have a bigger goal. The solution is to have a bigger goal. So no matter what, you can always see the goal. The goal needs to be bigger than your challenge. My question to you, whatever your goal is, for many of you, it's financial independence. Many of you, it's to help your family. Many of you, it's to pay off debt. Many of you, it's to quit your job and become a full-time entrepreneur. Whatever it is your goal bigger than the challenge? Is your goal bigger than the challenge? Or is your challenges bigger than the goal? This is what separates the men from the boys. This is what separates the women from the girls, right? The men and the women, they have goals that are bigger than their challenges. The boys and the girls, their challenges are bigger than their goals. Which one are you? Right? Which one are you? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your congruency. How you think. Your thoughts create how you feel. Okay? Your thoughts create how you feel. How you're thinking is going to determine how you feel. Have you heard the person says, oh, I don't feel like doing that today. You're never going to feel like doing it today. Why? Because the thinking is wrong. It's the thinking. If the thinking is negative, the feeling becomes negative. And guess what happens if we have negative feelings? We take negative action. Right? Our thoughts create our feelings, which creates our action. Too many people are worried about the results. Stop worrying about the results. You worry about how you think. Change this thinking to positive thinking. You will start to feel better. And then what will happen? You'll start to take positive action towards your goals and your dreams. I guarantee you, every time that you're supposed to take action towards your goals and your dreams, and you don't, let's say you procrastinate, right? What happened? You didn't feel like doing it. You didn't feel like doing it. Why? Because of here. What story we're telling ourselves. You know, Jordan Belfort, one of the sales trainers, he says the only thing between you and your goals and your dreams, and he uses a very colorful word, BS, right? The only thing between you and your dreams is the BS story that you keep telling yourself. The only thing between you and your goals and your dreams is the BS story that you tell yourself. That's here. It's what you think every day. And the funny part about here is no one sees that. Only you. You're the only one that sees it. You're the only one that knows about it. You can say whatever you want. You can act whatever you want, but only you knows what you're thinking. Only you knows what you're really feeling, right? And when these three things line up, we take the right action. Because if we take the right action, but we have the wrong thoughts and the wrong feelings, we don't get the right result. Let me give you an example. If I'm trying to set up an appointment, let's say, I'm trying to set up an appointment to share our vision, to share our mission, but in my mind, I'm thinking that this person, I might be bothering them or they might not need it. How am I going to feel? I'm going to start to feel like I'm bothering them, right? I'm going to start to feel like I'm inconveniencing them. So even though I take the action, I'm not going to get the right results. Because what do? We transfer these feelings, right? This feeling is what we transfer to other people, believe it or not. So remember when I said you win with your heart, not with your head? You have to have the right feeling in your heart in order to win. If you don't have the right feeling, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So these are the areas that you got to look at. By the way, no one can see this because someone will come later and they'll say, Jermaine, I took the right action, but I'm not getting the right results. What was in your heart? What was that secret feeling inside your heart? How did you feel when you were sitting down with that person, when you were making that appointment, when you were showing that presentation, whatever, you were trying to enlist someone into the cause, the mission? What was your true feeling? That's what people buy into. Right? That's what people buy into. Many times people say, Jermaine, I don't know, man. People don't listen to me. And they think they have to convince. You don't need to convince anyone of your vision or of your mission. You just need to be convinced. You just need to be convinced. People need to know that you're convinced. You believe in what you're saying. Do you believe in what you're saying? Right? I hope that today was able to bring you some value towards taking yourself and to your mission and growing your vision and doing the things that you want to do in your life. That's my goal, to be the catalyst for you to be able to do the things that you want to do. And I want to be able to empower you to be able to do those things. So hopefully today was able to help you. I really pray that I was able to shift somebody's mind today and shift them towards their goals and their dreams. And that's my vision. That is my mission.